So I was born into a middle class family, and like every other middle class family, my parents also told me from the childhood to study hard and get good grades. Now, to get good grades, they told me to study hard, work hard, and you will get a good grades, right? But I never liked working hard towards something because honestly, I never had to. From the very school, I, you know, studied for a few weeks before exam and I used to get above average grades. So I used to study a few weeks before exam and I used to slip past through all these exams and my grades through above average marks that I used to get. Now, it didn't make my parents really proud, but you know, above average grades are meh, try harder next time kind of shit. So in 10th grade, I got felicitated for, getting 90% of marks. And my school just invited me to a function where they gave me medal and a trophy for, scoring 90% in the 10th grade exam. And they also invited my parents. So, it kind of made them proud. Eventually, this minimal effort mindset got into my lifestyle. I got into an above average university through few weeks of hard work before the entrance exam, right? So in the university, this minimal effort mindset become so in this So when I got into the university or college, whatever, this minimal effort mindset that I had from the very childhood became very more dominant because university exams were honestly kind of easy. So I used to study a few days before the exams and I still got, good grades. In fact, my final CGPA was 8.67. 67. I'm sorry for the cringe. So eventually in the university, we got college campus space placements that we had. Companies visit our college and you can sit for an interview. You can give the interview. I knew this from, I don't know, like first year of my college. So, you know, I still didn't work hard, by the way. And then came the third year. Eventually, I thought that okay, everyone is getting an internship, everyone is getting placed, so I need to work my ass off here. Eventually, I worked hard for about I don't remember like 15-20 days, and after 15-20 days, I landed an average paying job. In the college, I also realized I wanted a good physique, but I couldn't build a good one after even 2 or 3 years of gym, whatever I have. Uh, at the best, I have this average physique because honestly, like getting a good physique, going into the gym requires consistency and hard work, which my minimal effort as couldn't do. During my college days, I also used to watch a lot of videos of self improvement like Hamza and Danko and stuff. Danko is really helpful. Hamza, I don't know. So because of this, I got a mindset of I want to get rich. Now, who doesn't want to get rich, right? I had lots and lots of these goals in my college, get rich, get a good physique, um, whatnot, get a better high paying job and stuff. But every of this goal requires a good amount of effort and consistency, which I didn't put in. Although I would still say being average is not really the problem here because you can't really be average for your whole life. You can't really be born average as such. Those who are at a good, um, you know, good stage of life or who are the outliers, the achievers, they have worked hard, they have acquired the skills, and they are at a certain place because they did work hard. But if you think that you are an average boy who will stay average for the rest of his life, it's probably not true. Becoming average, it becomes a problem when you think you are capable of a lot more than what you have right now in life, but you still put a minimal effort into life. You still don't put enough effort to achieve all the goals. This is where it becomes the problem. Because if you think about it, let's say there is a person who is kind of average. He got average grade for his school life. He's got a good or average paying job, but he doesn't necessarily has any more ambitions. he is on a good path for his life. Uh, that is what he thought. Okay, I'll study, I'll get good grades, and then there is another person, some guys like me who have lots and lots of ambitions. They want to get rich, they want to get physique, they want to be an outlier, but the only efforts that they put in are that of an average guy. So they keep their baseline to here, but they look up there. So what happens is this difference creates uh, what do you call it? Frustration and unhappiness in your life, which is bad because this is kind of a hammer that hits on your head constant. So probably you think that you deserve a good physique and you want to achieve a good physique, but instead what you're doing is you are eating outside fast food, high caloric food. This creates an identity mismatch, and eventually this hammer is hitting on your head while you're eating this food, and it says, man, we wanted a great physique. What happened to the goal? You're eating fast food, that means you actually don't want a good physique. You are eating that food, that means you're okay with the current physique. So, to numb this hammer pain, you go into the direction of short term gratification, like watching movies, TV series, playing video games, or sport, which none of it is bad except the short form content. Now, to numb this pain, you do these short term gratification things, and eventually, these short term gratification things bore you. So, you go to the extreme level of them. Eventually, you burn yourself out. Constant hammer hitting your pain, you know, constant the hammer of you can do better hitting your head again and again. To numb that pain, you're going through short term gratification. That short term gratification is a temporary fix. Yeah, it numbs the pain for a short amount of time, but it increases the intensity of the hammer itself. This is kind of the downward spiral that goes through. Now, what happens at the end stage, I also don't know. So, what's the fix on this? Because you must have seen these type of videos where a guy just talking to his camera, comes, uh, tells the problem, explains the problems, tells his story, and then provides a fix to the particular issue. But guess what? I don't have a fix. I've never not figured it out yet, of course. Even though I don't know the actual fix to this problem, I think that there could be two ways guys like me could end up, or guys like us could end up. The first is the good ending. That means somewhere at some point of the life, the guy will, hit a point in life where there is no other option other than to achieve his goals. Something happens which forces him to do the stuff that, he is required to do. And the second is the bad ending, which, uh, you know, you keep on living like this for the rest of your life. You let the hammer hit on your head repeatedly for the rest of your life, and eventually you are on your deathbed, and you think you could have lived a better life. I mean, that should scare the shit out of any human. Just imagine it. You are lying on your deathbed. You know you're gonna die in in a few minutes probably, and all you could think back to your life isn't good memories. Isn't I was satisfied with this life. I was happy living this life. But you're thinking I could have done better. I could have achieved those things. I could have done much more better than this. So this is it for this particular video, and see you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe the channel though.